Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. We'll go ahead and get started with today's guest. Our first question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Gagnon. I am the CEO of Total Brain. The accent you're hearing is from Montreal, born in Quebec City. I lived in Montreal in Canada. For the last 10 years, I live in Montclair, New Jersey with my wife and 3 kids. Professionally, I have a very atypical career, if you like. I follow my heart. So use my head as little as I can. And what I do is I choose a problem, I give it 4 or 5 years, and then I see what happens. So I've had 6 careers. I led companies like Audible and Monster.com and the product and marketing functions in my career. I was an advisor to big private equity group, and I also worked on 4 continents trying to help reproductive health, founded and started and supported 8 NGOs on those four continents. So I'm a bit of an eclectic type, if you like. And for the last 3 years, I decided to give my rest of my career to the cause of mental health. It's one that's very close to my heart. And so Total Brain is my new toy.
Well, I love that you just follow your heart and that you're doing so many good things to help mental health, which is such an important topic for these days. So thank you.
Thank you.
Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
Yeah, I will say 3 things. The first is that it allows us to be human. What do I mean by this? Humans are social animals. So if you're going to be in a team, you're going to be human with all that it implies on the positive side and the negative sides. And so when you do this, you learn about life, you learn about yourself, you get a chance to connect, you get a chance to give. And it's been proven by so many studies that connectivity, connection is the #1 driver of happiness. And so if you're going to spend a third of your life, half of your awakened life at work with other people, you have a chance to be a better human being with them. The second best thing I would say is while you do this, you get to learn. You get to learn about so many things. You get to learn about skills. Someone's always better than you at something. But you also get to learn about wisdom. Some people will tell you things that have nothing to do with the tasks that are going to make you a better human being. And you get to learn from their behavior and their example. And you get to see what to do and what not to do, and how it feels when people do certain things. And again, as a human being, it's a growth experience when you are taking this seriously and when you observe with a keen eye. And so that is what I would say are the 3 best things about a team.
Great insights. Great insights. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, as I just said, on the positive side, it can be amazing, but we're human. And so we have a negative side. And I will call this the mental health continuum, where you can be super happy a minute, something happened, triggers an emotion, and now you're negative, you're going down a spiral, and what used to be a great presence to be around is now something negative that is repulsive, that people don't want to be around, that is not creative, not collaborating, not bringing together, but dividing. And so when that happens, and it happens all the time, for everyone, I have those moments, you have those moments, and everybody does. So when you're the bigger the team, the more you have those moments happening or likely to happen at the same time. That creates chaos. And it becomes very, very difficult to lead when you're in the presence of that negativity. And so the question is, what do you do as a team leader to address that negativity? And there's a bunch I could talk about this for 10 hours, obviously, but in the 10 seconds that you've given me, I will say that it's about awareness. It's about being self-aware first to understand, what am I contributing to that chaos right now? What is that person triggering in me? Before I start the blame game, what responsibility can I take for what I feel? And then what's the best thing for me to do in order to give the best of myself and get others to recenter themselves and get off the negativity. This is a lifelong journey.
Such great comments about being self-aware, but also being aware of others. Those great comments. Question number 4, what other piece of advice would you offer to leaders of teams?
Yeah, there is a French expression that says uh, the horseshoe maker never has the right horseshoe. I'm going to talk about what I'm trying to do myself, and with the hope that it resonates with other people. I founded my company, Total Brain, on 3 core values that I call our modus operandi. And they're all geared towards creating the best culture and creating the most efficient system possible. And those 3 values are easy to understand, easy to remember, and easy to apply. Tough to apply, but easy to see if you're applying it, which means that they're teachable. So I can see if you're doing it or not, I can hold you accountable and vice versa. Which is, by the way, something that our values that we put on our mugs, culture-wise, they never do, right? They're not memorable. Nobody knows exactly what they mean because there's like a long paragraph after them. And they are usually very much centered on the company as opposed to being centered on the people. So those values we usually share as companies are not very good. And that's why I spent so much time crafting those I'm going to talk about now.
Well, that's certainly some important advice about some good leadership tips there. Great insights. Yeah. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams, such as yourself, would you like to recognize as having had a positive influence in your life?
Kurt Cunningham. He is the CEO of a company called Orchard. He was the CEO of a company called Yodel. I was his chief product marketing officer in the past. And Kurt is just a leader that leads by example. And for that reason, I would nominate that guy all day long.
Well, he sounds like a great person, so I look forward to reaching out to him. Thank you. Well, last question. Tell us about your first job.
I was an orderly in a mental health institution back in the 80s when they still existed. I was 18 and was just the best job I've ever had. I adored my job because I got to help make a huge difference in the day of more than one person by attending to their basic need and making them feel better. And yeah, that stays with me as a really, really cool experience. But Sean, I want to go back to what do I do in terms of running a team. The 3 values we have that I want people to remember is you have to have compassion, you have to have passion, and you have to have dispassion. That is, you help people and you want to help people by understanding them, compassion. You got to be 100% present, not in the future, not in the past, process driven as opposed to result driven, so that you can enhance the collaboration now as opposed to the metrics tomorrow. The collaboration is what's going to drive the metrics. So put your attention there. And third, this passion is to realize the following. Success comes with more demand. More demand is going to ask more of your time and more of your energy. The problem is that this is the equation to fail and to burn out. You cannot diminish the demand. You cannot make time, but you can make more energy. So make sure that your people actually rejuvenate and think about themselves and do something for themselves in order to drive the output is really what the dispassion part is all about. So compassion, passion, dispassion, that's it.
Those are such great key words that you've used. And I appreciate you sharing also about your first job, because I can see kind of that full circle where you started in that mental health situation, and then you went and exercised your career, but you clearly felt a desire to come back to that. So that first job for you had a powerful impact on you, clearly.
Huge impact. And life is fascinating. You never know what's going to happen, but you know that what you learned in the past, you learned. And so, it's not surprising that you come back, because usually you learn what you love and what you don't love.
Very good. Thank you. Louis, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, Louis Gagnon, CEO of Total Brain. They can find me on our website, totalbrain.com. There's a contact button there, and they can write to me from there at any time. I'm always very happy to connect with others who think I could help or that could help me. That is the nature of business.
Very good. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can find us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you.